Well, welcome to Hamilton County Newsmakers. I'm Perry Williams, and it's great to be back at Hamilton County Newsmakers again this week. We've had a few weeks off, but it's getting to be an important time of the year for the needs of our community, which is, the one thing about it seems like in the October, November, December areas, we always remember that people have special needs out there of food and clothing and things like that, but it happens 12 months a year, 365 days a year. Today I've got a guest, Kim Harden, who is coordinator for the 2015 Festival of Trees. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming by. Tell us a little bit about the Festival for Trees and what it's for.
It is a dinner at Bridgewater. This year it's November 21st at 6 p.m. We have local designers come in and design artificial Christmas trees, wreaths, and centerpieces, and then we auction them all off that night at the gala dinner. And then all the proceeds go to Good Samaritan Network of Hamilton County to help with their holiday assistant program.
Which is a huge program, and the Good Samaritan Network is fabulous.
Yes.
Okay, and we'll be talking to Nancy Chance a little bit later, but I, for one, was at the Festival of Trees last year, and my wife Kathy and I enjoyed it greatly. We appreciate what you do. Tell the people a little bit about what goes on that evening, and a little bit of the details.
Well, as a guest, when you come in, everyone will register and get them a bidding paddle, and then we have dinner. Actually, everybody can walk around and look at all the trees that are designed and what will be auctioned off. And then we have dinner, which is really good, from Bridgewater, and the auctioneer will start the bids on the trees. And so it's fun to have everybody kind of fight over the bidding stuff to see.
I thought one of the other unique things that you also had were your different gift baskets out there you also kind of a silent bid on, which was really great.
Yeah, and we'll have plenty of those again this year too.
Because there was Colts tickets, Pacers, you name it, you had it because Kim, tell me a little bit of how.
What's their sponsors?
Yeah, but don't forget that. Yes.
It's sponsors.
Studio audience.
Yeah, the studio audience is trying to help us here. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about was, the event itself is such an outstanding event. And what was the crowd last year? I mean, how many people did you think attended?
For the very first year, we had right around 127 people there for the first year. So we are limited to 200 guests at Bridgewater. So if you're wanting to go, now's the time to get your tickets.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the sponsors and who, how do you become a sponsor and who have already stepped up to be a sponsor.
Okay. Some of our sponsors right now is Spencer Berry Farm here in Noblesville, and Ivy Tech is a sponsor this year. Chapman Electric, Gaylord is one of our sponsors. And if you want to sponsor, you can go to gsnlive.org, and there's a link right there for Festival of Trees. You can sign up to be a sponsor. We've got 3 different levels of sponsorships, and I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read them right now.
Well, basically, there's actually 4, and it's a Pinnacle sponsor, which is $4,000, and you get 2 tables with 16 tickets, and that includes a meal and complimentary beverage and the whole deal for that night. Then you got the Pillar sponsor, which is $2,000, and that's 1 table and 8 tickets. The Platform sponsor is $1,000, and that's 4 tickets, and then the partner sponsors are $500, and that gives you 2 tickets. But it's a wonderful night here. How can we get, say someone wants to be a sponsor, how do they contact? What do they do?
Well, they can get on gsnlive.org, or you could personally even contact me at iloveitdesigns@att.net, or you could call me and I could help you with any of that if you needed to.
Yeah, and that is it all right if I give that telephone
Yeah.
number?
Mm-hmm.
And that telephone number is 317-379-0470. So there's many ways that you can get this. We'll be promoting it here on Hamilton County TV up until the event on November. Let's go through once again. What is the date on that? And
It's Saturday, November 21st at 6 p.m. at the Bridgewater Country Club.
And that's located on 161st Street.
Yes,
And that's a wonderful, wonderful place to have an
Yeah.
event like this.
it is.
And I it was amazing how the designers put together the trees and everything.
Yeah.
Now, are there certain people you already have in place that will be decorating
Yes.
some of these trees? Can you name a few of those? Or?
Gosh. Christy Green. Adrian's is doing some.
Oh, wonderful.
And my goodness, I can't think of anybody else right now. I'll be doing trees
Yes.
with my business, I Love It Designs. And we have 22 designers right now. So,
Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
and we're always looking for more. So, yeah.
And that's a beautiful night. I mean, that place, you guys, with those trees and everything, it's decorated up just fabulous.
Get
And
you ready for the holidays.
It certainly does. It certainly does. And like I said, Kathy and I had a great time, and the man on
And we
the
bought two.
and Mr. Walford bought 2 trees last year, and I don't know, between us, I think Kathy bought 2 or 3 wreaths, and so did Jim. So I think we probably contributed pretty good for the Good Samaritan Network. And it's amazing how some people are so competitive, and they get in
Yes.
these little bidding wars on these
Yes.
trees, and it just gets to the point where you're probably spending a little bit more money than you really should,
Yeah.
but it's going for a good cause. And
Great cause.
if 2 people want the same tree, you got to pay the price.
That's
you know?
right. That's right. It was fun. If you're not even bidding and just going for the dinner, I mean, it is fun to watch the bidding war happen.
Yeah,
So, it's
absolutely,
fun.
absolutely. And I think it's a great night to socialize with people who really care about the Good Samaritan Network and all the great things they do for Hamilton County,
Yes.
because it's a huge need here in Hamilton County, and I think people have to. Sometimes people are very, very surprised of how many people
Are in need.
Yeah. So it's an amazing night here. Once again, this is the 2nd annual Hamilton County Festival of Trees, and it'll be Saturday night, November 21st, and it'll start at 6 p.m. So there's plenty of ways to get the tickets. You can always go to gsnlive.org, or you can just make a phone call to Kim's cell phone number, and it's 317-379-0470. And remember what Kim said, that's only limited to 200 people. So if you're going to get tickets, November 21st is not too far off.
It is not very far away at all.
That's what you're starting to realize, right?
Exactly.
It's right around the corner.
It is right around the corner.
Well, that's outstanding. Well, we'll take a break and we'll switch out Kim, and we'll bring Nancy Chance up here, and we'll interview her on talking a little bit more detail on the Good Samaritan Network and the needs that we have here in Hamilton County. We'll be right back with Hamilton County Newsmakers.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
Well, welcome back to Hamilton County Newsmakers, and I always, when I look at this title and I talk about people who make news in Hamilton County, the lady sitting next to me probably is probably the best definition of a person who does news for Hamilton County, because she makes things happen here in this community. And my good friend Nancy Chance, welcome.
Well, thank you.
We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, because the amazing thing is, and we talked about this with Kim in the first segment about the Festival of Trees coming up here, and on Saturday, November 21st at 6 p.m. at Bridgewater. But it's always funny, and I'm guilty of that. Was guilty of it at the beginning of the show, saying that people seem to step up much more in giving during the holidays, but in the business you're in,
it's a need all year round.
Needs are all year round.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about some of those numbers of people that have those needs 12 months a year.
Yeah. Well, the network served about 28,978 families last year, and that is our 268 agencies and our 46 pantries. We're going up 2 pantries now. Those 2 more pantries are coming on board. And for the wealthiest county in the state, that's very unusual to have that many food pantries, and they're full to capacity every time the doors are open.
Nancy, let's talk a little bit, because you and I had a conversation in passing. In fact, it was in the parking lot here down at Logan Street Signs when you were coming out, and we talked a little bit about the needs, and you had been to a location that was virtually out of food, okay? And so through the Good Samaritan Network and now the partnerships you have set up, you were able to shift some of that food.
Yeah, we were able to give 268,000 pounds of food, and it's an ongoing battle that we face with the pantries, that as soon as they're full, they're needing filled again. And the bigger pantries are sustained from larger churches and larger organizations that have bigger budgets. But a lot of the smaller pantries that are doing our rural communities and some of our areas where the need is the most suffer constantly trying to keep up. And Hamilton County Food Bank is part of our network too, and they do a grand job of supporting. But oftentimes, the word comes back around that there's more that needs to be done, and so we step up and try to fill that gap. But 268,000 pounds of food is a lot of food.
Yeah. But I think what people, the thing that people really miss, that pounds of food that you were just talking about, okay, it doesn't last forever.
No, it doesn't. It goes out as fast as it comes in. I think my biggest battle is trying to keep up with the needs. Our huge increase in the last 7 years has been, of course, the middle class, the lower middle class, and they have lost jobs or reclaimed jobs that were not the paying jobs they were 7, 8 years, 9 years ago, and they're families that are trying to hold their family together. They're doing a good job of doing their rent and utilities, trying to keep their car on the road. They're putting their kids on free and reduced lunch just to be able to stretch that dollar. They're visiting food pantries that they've never even knew existed prior to the last 3 or 4 years. And they're trying to sustain themselves. And we are trying to help them as much as we can. If they get into trouble once a year, we can help them with utilities or rent or car repair, whatever. And it's amazing how that kind of stability will help them pole vault off into sustainability and being sustainable taxpayers. Whereas if some organization wasn't there, like the trustees do a phenomenal job with what they do, but they are doing a certain income level. And many of our middle class do not. If you're making $10 an hour at a fast food restaurant or something like that, it's not going to be you're going to be over their guidelines. So basically, there's something has to be there for the middle class, and so we've stepped up to that over the last 7 years because of all the need. And we've seen in the last 2 years 3,900 people that we've kept from falling into first generational poverty. And to you as a taxpayer, that should be a big positive. Because we don't want those people to fall off our tax rolls. We want them to be sustainable families until this economy can turn around.
And the one thing about it is that I noticed that, so many middle class people, which when I grew up and I felt like, and you're the same way, we were middle class people, okay, when we were growing up. But we did have a few extra bucks that if we could put back, like if a car went bonkers or there was a special need, a refrigerator conked out, we could take care of that. But people are today in our middle class work from paycheck to paycheck, and it takes every bit of their dollars to stretch to make everyday needs. So when an illness or anything like that comes along, or a car quits working, and we're so dependent on vehicles and getting the jobs and things like that,
Right.
It's made it very, very difficult.
It has. And a lot of people say, well, are you, giving a handout? We aren't. We actually have the client actually pay 5, 10, 15, whatever they can afford to pay towards the bill that they come in to get help with. And then that becomes a partnership. There is a different kind of connotation if you're partnering with somebody to meet your needs rather than a handout. And I'm seeing a huge change, and we've had so many of our clients over the last 7 years come back with huge donations of food, clothing, money. It might not be the huge checks, but 25, 30, 50, because we help them. And that's what this is all about. If we can sustain our middle class and sustain our families and keep them moving along until this economy changes, or hopefully changes soon, then we have got a better community. And we have to think about those people, because those people are as vital in our community as anybody else. And a lot of them are keeping our mainstream jobs going, and we should be really focused on keeping those people on steady ground.
Yes. Now, Nancy, what can you do? How can you, if you're listening to the show today and you want to give back, and the one thing great that you made comments, every little bit helps. If you can give $15, $20, or if you can give $5,000, it's great, okay?
Yes.
But that $5 or $10 that they give you is just as important as that $5,000,
Right.
okay? And if we can get enough people to help, But what do people need to do to help?
I think everybody needs to step up and do a little bit. I think everybody can do a little. If people that have just responded or received help from us can give back $15, $20, then why can't we as taxpayers out in the community all just learn how to give a little bit once in a while to the Good Samaritan just to help us sustain this program? Because without this program, it's going to be like It's a Wonderful Life. You're not going to know how much it's missed until it's not there any longer. And donations are what we thrive on. It's all we have. And we do go after some grants. We don't go after government funding, but we do go after grants, and grants are dwindling. So we're constantly trying to meet the needs, and trying to get donations are harder in this economy, because people that have businesses aren't giving as much, and so it's a catch-22. So if everybody did a little bit, I think we could make a huge impact in our community.
And the one thing about it is I think there's a lot of the civic organizations which they do participate in that can do many things to help in this community. A perfect example is I'm the president of Noblesville Main Street, and we just got done with our can construction, which
Yes.
we partner up with Kroger, and we get a discount on the cans, and we go out and we get sponsors, and we build these architect. Of course, we have Darren Peterson.
Yeah, Darren's great.
Which is great, and a great giver in this community. And he takes his little niche of being an architect and gets some of his architect friends together, and they design these different statues around the downtown, and it helps promote people to come downtown. They do a great job. They're beautiful construction events. We had 4 different locations this year.
Great job.
And then we were able to donate the canned goods at the end, and we want to do a better job next year of on the voting. We ask for votes by people bringing in perishable items, so we need to do a little bit better job in that. But
That's a great program.
those things that our civic organizations can help, and many of them do. I don't mean that
Many
at
of
all.
them do, and it's a blessing. But I think there's people out there that can donate. I mean, it's just like we got the Thanksgiving Day dinner coming up, and we're expanding to St. Louis de Montfort this year, and Fishers, and starting that new program. And we're in Sheridan, plus we're in Noblesville, plus we do 1,600 to 1,800 hot meals out on Thanksgiving Day, plus we have our preparation for our Christmas Eve meals that we do the same number on Christmas Eve. And people look at me and think that money just flows. Well, I have to go out and try to find that money. So if anybody's interested in donating, we really would love to have you donate. www.gsnlive.org, and we have a place on our website to donate, or people can bring checks in or mail checks in to 12933 Parkside Drive in Fishers.
You'll take it any way you can.
We're
right?
all county, and it doesn't make any difference the amount, but we'd like to have some people that feel led to come up and help us sponsor some of these things, like the event that I have at the 4-H grounds. We got 28,000 people that we help at Christmas. I get 3/4 of them privately sponsored, but 1/4 of them don't have sponsorships. I run out of sponsors. So what do I do with those people? Well, I have to take them somewhere. That's over 8,000 people. Or 8,000 families. So we end up at the fairgrounds. I rent the fairgrounds, and I have all those items that I procure all year trying to get the donations. And by the way, we had 11.6 million last year in donations. But you just don't understand how much it costs to take care of families with 3 clothing, 3 toys, socks, and underwear. We're not talking about huge amounts of stuff for each one. And you got families that have multiple kids, plus you have food. And, we have a big need for canned food and dry products. And we'll be at the fairgrounds on the 10th and 11th of December, and we need people to bring things in. Even if they can't bring money, maybe they can bring food.
Well, I'm always fascinated when I have you on the show, and the amazing things that you do, and I know you don't like to have all these accolades on how hard you work, but how many years have you been doing this?
Well, I started when I was 4.
Yeah,
so-
it's a great story. If you get time sometime, she's got an amazing story, and she is totally dedicated her entire life to giving. And we appreciate having you on here today.
Appreciate you.
All right, so one more time, coming up here, big event for them, second annual Hamilton County Festival of Trees, Saturday, November 21st at 6 p.m. And we'll see you. Well, we won't see you next week because I'll be at a seminar in Indianapolis. But we'll be back the following week and with I believe Dr. Derek Arrowwood at Hamilton Heights, and we'll find out what's going on in the Hamilton Heights school system. So
Right.
we'll see you later.
Thank you.